Alright, welcome back. This will be lesson 3 on how to make a Scratch video game. And so if you missed lesson 1 and 2, you may want to look in the description and watch those videos to get caught up. So in today's lesson, we're going to learn how to change screens. So we've learned how to make our character move back and forth, and it's animated. And in lesson 2, we added some walls, and so that we can't walk through them. So now we're going to change boards. So I'm going to go inside my game, and first I want to create some costumes. So I have green floor. It's not too fancy. Later we could add some better graphics. But I'm going to use a XY coordinate system to switch boards. So I need to name my costumes that system. Now I'm just going to do four of these costumes. This isn't completely necessary because each one is really going to be the same. Alright, so I'm going to do 4 boards. But first let me go to my walls and let me help you explain why I'm going to do 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give some openings to my game. I'm going to make an opening to the top. So I just highlight that and delete it. I'm going to have an opening to the left. And I'm going to make an opening down. Alright, so that'll allow me to go up, left, and down. So that's going to give me 4 different boards. And so if this first board is 0, 0 on the coordinate axis, and I move up to the up room, that'll give me a costume. That'll be the coordinates 0, 1. Okay? And if I go down, that'll give me the coordinates 0, -1. And finally, if I go left, that'll give me the coordinates -1, 0. Alright, so I'm just going to create those 4 different sprites. And right now they're just duplicates of one another. Okay? So let's start with this one. If this is the 0, 1, actually this opening at the top needs to match the bottom opening. So I'm actually going to flip this vertically so that the bottom matches. I'm also going to just extend these walls down and up so that this room is self-contained. There's only the down. There's no other way we can go. Alright, and then for the room below, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to flip it on the vertical so that this doorway matches the other doorway. And I'm just going to extend this wall at the bottom to close it up and to close this to the left. I can always make openings anytime I want, later if I want. But for right now, I'm just going to make these 4 boards. And then finally, this last costume here, which is the -1, 0, I'm going to flip it horizontally so that this doorway opens on the right part to the other board, and I'm going to close this room off. Alright, so I have my 4 costumes on 4 different boards. One board would be where I'd start. This board would be if I went up to the up room, and then if I was back at 0, 0 and I went down, I'd be in this room. And again, if I was at the room 0, 0 and I went to the left, I'd be in this room. And all the doorways actually match up nicely, so I won't get any glitches. Alright, that's great. And so then on the code for the walls and the ground, we're going to add some code so that they switch costumes as we switch boards. So first, we're going to need to make some variables. So I'm going to make a global for all sprites variable called X, and a second one called Y. And whenever we create a variable, we should set it to something. So I'm going to say set X to 0 and set Y to 0. That actually makes that setting what is your starting screen. And so in my game currently, my starting screen is going to be the screen 0, 0. And then just real simple, just forever, we want our walls costume, switch costume to this kind of strange operator called join apple and banana. And we're just going to put that X and Y variable right in there. X, Y. Alright? So that will make it so that whatever X is and whatever Y is, that will be what board we're on. And we'll go over to our ground sprite and we'll do that as well. This isn't really important right now because the way I have my game made, all my grounds are the same so far. But if later when my ground sprite costumes change, this will work too. So go to looks, switch costume to operators, join apple, banana, and variables X and Y. Alright, so already we do have a change. I'm on this board. If I reset the game, it takes me to the starting board, which is great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to code it so that when I get to certain regions, it switches boards. So like for instance, when I get to the top of this screen here, I'll switch to the board above me. So this code is going to go on the main player 1 sprite. And just for simplicity, I'm going to add it as its own code off to the side here. So when I start the game, I want this to happen forever whenever this happens. And I'm going to just say if then. I'm grabbing the operator equal sign, my join apple and banana, and my variables X, Y. No, that's not right. Whoops. I'm getting a little carried away. I'm going to just throw that away. That's not what I meant. I'm going to do, let me focus. I'm going to move up. So this is going to be on the Y. The Y. So if my Y position of my player 1 sprite ever gets greater than, and you see right here down here, my Y is 140. So let's say if it gets greater than 150. So if Y position is greater than 150, then variables, then I'm going to change my Y variable by 1. And I'm also going to move my character down to the bottom of the screen, because as he moves up in that screen, he'll be at the top of this screen, but then he'll be at the bottom of the next screen. So I don't want his X position to change. So I want his X position to be whatever it is right now. But I want his Y position to become negative 145. All right, and so we're going to reset and set that into motion so that when I move to the top of this screen, I switch screens to this 0, 1 screen, which is great. Now I just need to be able to code that so when I move down, it does the same thing. So this code will be really simple to the one similar to the one we just made. I'm just going to bring in a different operator. It's going to be a less than operator this time. And I'm going to say if Y position is less than negative 150, then I'm going to change Y by negative 1, and I'm going to make the Y position 145. All right, and these numbers you can change a little bit as you're playing with your game so that it looks right. But I'm just going to add that in. So now I reset the game, and I should be able to move up into this room and now back down. So now and that actually will make this work as well. So when I come down into this room, I can move down and up. All right. So now we just need to be able to move left and right. So we'll take this code and copy it and just make some changes. If I went to the left, I'm not talking about Y position anymore. I'm talking about X position. So I bring in this if X position is less than negative 150. Let's look at that. So negative 150 is about here. Let's maybe go to negative 160. All right. And we're going to not change Y, but we're going to change X. And we're going to move to the right of the board. So we're going to say 155, but in this case we're going to keep the Y position the same. All right, so I'll add that in. And so now when I reset the game and I move to the left, I'm in the next room. So now we just need to go back to that room. So one more time. The operator is different. I actually saved that. It's over here. You can always bring a new one in if you want. But I'm going to bring that down here. And so if X position is greater than, and let's not use 150, we'll use 160 like the other time. If that's greater than, we're going to go up by 1 on the X, and we're going to move to the left side of the screen, negative 155, keep Y position the same, add that fourth conditional in, and so now when I move into the left room, I move to the left room, and then I can leave there and come back into the room I started. So there we go. We've got 4 different boards. The only thing I want to add here is, as you see, my coin, that purple coin there, it goes into each room. And I don't like that. I want it to be just in one room. So we're going to put that coin up here in this room. Okay. So the way we're going to do that is I'm going to click on the coin, and it has its own code. And I'll go to the control, and I'm just going to bring in an if-then-else statement. And I'm going to bring in the operators, and this is where I want that join apple equal to what I was trying to do a minute ago. If join apple and banana, but not apple and banana, xy. So so basically if I'm on the board and I'm going to say 0, 1, because that's the board I want it to show up on. So if this equals 0, 1, go into looks, real simple, we're going to show it. Otherwise, we're going to hide it. So if I'm not on the 0, 1 board, it's going to be hidden, but if I am, it'll show. So when I reset the game, as you see in this main room here, there's no coin. The coin isn't down here either, but when I go up to this room, there is the coin, right? And actually, let's just go ahead for the heck of it. Let's move it more towards the center. So we'll go like that, and it says 0. All right, now when I start, just, I don't know, that looks better. It's right there in the center, and then you can go grab the coin. There it is. All right, hope you enjoyed that. Hope that works out for you, and stay tuned for the next lesson.